Hello, it is I, Lythaniel, the reviewer here, back with another review. Just got John Wick out of the way. Next up on my to-do list is a movie known as The Irishman. See it right there? That is the movie starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Al Pacino. Um, yeah, so funny bit. This was nominated for 10 Oscars. Turns out, not this year.
Dumbass.
So when I was just browsing through Netflix a couple weeks ago, first saw All Quiet on the Western Front. From there, I happened to see The Irishman and saw, oh, Oscar nominated. Before knowing, what the full list was, I just, knew the Best Picture category. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start with The Irishman, because I'm gonna essentially go over all of the Oscar Best Picture nominees and see if they got it correct with the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, and see if that really deserved to be the winner or if one of the other ones were, and let them know that they were wrong and I was correct. So I was gonna go over that. Only issue is this was nominated for Best Picture and it's got all those nominations for 2020, not 2023. So kind of messed that up a little bit, but hey, we got to keep it moving. Yeah, so just kind of go over briefly. I'm not going to keep this too long, keep it short and sweet. If you got a chance, do check it out. I'm not sure how long it's going to be on Netflix, even if it's still there. But if you do see it, just take note, it is a very long movie. I believe about 2 hours 40, 2 hours 50 minutes. So I started it at about, maybe 10 o'clock. I didn't finish till, or maybe 10:30. I don't think I finished p.m., mind you. I don't think I finished till about 1:40 a.m. So, of course, bad timing on my part, but I was awake. It was late night. So just plan ahead if you are going to do, or do it in parts, honestly. You may not be missing out just doing it, two in a row. Kind of contrast that with John Wick, that do that in one sitting. You can absolutely do that. But this one you might want to take a little bit to just kind of spread it out, plan it out, and everything like that. But yeah, just to kind of go over everything. Essentially, it stars Robert De Niro. He plays a guy who essentially, in this, non-spoilery, so I'm not going to get too detailed in anything. But, the major plot points or the major synopsis you should have already heard. But essentially, it stars De Niro playing as a guy who essentially becomes a hitman and kind of goes through his life, and he goes through a retelling of essentially his life once he got into that life, and essentially his relationship with several other people, as well as famous kind of Teamsters union guy Jimmy Hoffa, and kind of what may lead up to that. But yeah, overall I did like the movie. It was a good movie. I will say though that it does also fall into the, while good, I don't want to watch it again. I don't know where this analogy is going to go, but I always still kind of put that into that's what I call the 12 Years a Slave category. Good movie, probably never going to watch it again. So, and a lot of that is due to the length. I do think they could have shortened this a little bit, or a lot of it, to be honest. You probably could have got this down to 2 hours. That being said, it did have my attention the entire time. I'll give it that. But, I didn't take that break from 10 to 140, but man, it just kind of went on. So, I don't have plans. I don't have 3 more hours again. But yeah, kind of chronicles their life or his life and what he went through. And I did enjoy it. It's not as action-packed as the trailer may give off. There is definitely a bunch more talking, but it's still good dialogue. You still get good performances by Pacino, get good performances by Pesci, and then Al Pacino still does a good Jimmy Hoffa, surprisingly. And one kind of neat thing actually I found about the movie is it's still kind of portrayed, kind of almost like semi-fiction, semi-non-fiction. Because one of the things you do kind of get tidbits into it is you'll get little tidbits, and again, not necessarily a spoiler, I don't think, but it does involve real people. So you kind of get this almost autobiography kind of, oh, hey, there's this guy. His name will pop up, and oh, here's a guy you might not know something about him, and here's an interesting fact about him. I'll leave it kind of at that, but I did like that a lot because I started almost not necessarily treating it as a history lesson, but it kind of just became something where it's like, okay, you know, that was all before my time. Here's what this guy got into, this what this guy got into, and kind of where he ended up, and kind of where this other guy ended up, and you know, things like that. And I did actually enjoy that. But I know also they did take probably some liberties with certain things, but the facts, I do believe it. They did display those final facts as factual, so that's kind of almost like a good little history lesson, but they still kept it entertaining. So I did like that. Visually, looked nice. I believe, you know, shot well, you know, colors are nice, audio's decent, so no complaints there. It's just, you know, it's the kind of movie you almost just don't need to see again. And I hate to say it because I still have an overall positive view of it, but So my final rating is gonna be a 3 out of 5. It was always this debate between 3 and 4 because again, well shot movie. I had a good time with it, but I always had a lot of hesitancy to really like, oh, do I really want to give this 4? Do I want to give it a 3? But kind of one of the rules that you'll see me develop with over time, or I'll kind of really force down, is if I'm hesitating that much to give something a 4, or even any number, if I'm hesitating that much to give it that number, it's got to go down 1. Because if I can't, you know, quickly say, boom, you know what, this is a 4. It's a good movie. It ain't perfect by any means. It's too long, whatever. But man, it's a 4. Go see it. Okay, then it's not going to qualify. Then it needs to go down. So I do have it as a 3, which of course is good. It's a good movie. I do think people should see it. Just realize it's not some kind of huge action-packed monster movie kind of thing like that. It's still a good movie, but it does have its fair share of talking. Depending on how late you can watch it, theoretically, I could see some people falling asleep. You know, you might wake up, watch it again later, or save 1 hour and a half. One day, watch the other half. Next day, maybe a 2-episode mini drama. But yeah, it's not rough, but just be ready for what you're getting. So yeah, I really did enjoy it. So I just want to hear from you guys. I'm kind of curious about people who might have just watched it recently on Netflix. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you think it went too long? Was the length okay? How did you feel about the action, non-action mix? Did it feel balanced for you? I want to hear all of it. Let me know why you think it might have. I do believe that it did not win Best Picture in 2020. Do you think it should have? Do you think it, didn't really? Because it looked like it got snubbed. So I personally can see why it didn't get Best Picture. But yeah, let me know what you think. It might have been for you. You know, when you got the Scorsese, Pacino, Pesci, De Niro combo. Again, great acting. Really dug it. Oh, and then just random, but I gotta get this out. They kind of do some de-aging, aging kind of stuff, but there's just certain weird parts in the movie that kind of throws you off because they treat De Niro like he's the youngest out of all of them, and it's weird because you got scenes with Pesci, maybe Hoffa, or Pacino calling him kid. Like, this a fucking 55-year-old man. What are we doing here? And even the scenes where it look like they're de-aging him, you still look older than me, and I'm, you know, young, grown, and sexy, but dude, you're not a kid. So that was weird. I had to just get that off my chest. It kind of threw me off at various points, but yeah. Let me know if that was weird for you guys. Hit down in the comments, you know, subscribe to. Ton more reviews coming out. I've got to, again, go over all my Oscar 2023 nominations and actually figure out which is the best of the best. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. I am Lythaniel, the reviewer. Later. Bye.